everybody, welcome back. Oh, perfect, just what I was going to talk about in the video. That means it should have arrived. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, which is pretty much all of you since I haven't explained it whatsoever, I actually ordered a Nintendo Switch because I wanted to discuss it for a video. And I ordered the console along with Breath of the Wild. And honestly, I didn't expect it to arrive this early. I'm truly joyous, so if you'll excuse me, I'll be back.
1 hour later.
Okay, and continuing on chapter 13 of how to cope with getting a Wii U instead of a Nintendo Switch. Ah, the Wii U, also known as Nintendo, are you okay? The Wii U is one of, if not the worst selling main Nintendo console, or at least home console, and honestly, I can see why. Despite the console having some stellar titles, decent graphics, and all in all is a fun console, it came with one problem. The way they marketed this thing was horrifying. Nintendo Switch ads marketed the console as much more of a device, whereas the Wii U seemed more like a toy meant for kids with these ads. And while all consoles are meant for children, the way they marketed this made it appeal only to children as opposed to all audiences, which is one of the biggest problems. Oh, and also they use Disney Channel stars to market this thing, so yeah, you can see where this is gonna go. So before we look at some horrifying games for the system, I thought we'd look at some horrifying commercials. Help!
We'll make this quick.
Family time's dropping fast, people.
Pew!
Time to upgrade to Wii U.
And already I'm beginning to question what I've gotten myself into.
With Wii U, we can play Super Mario 3D World.
Find secrets with the Wii U gamepad.
And did we mention togetherness?
Just check out the simulation.
Whoa.
I look good.
Look at that. Yeah, I look like I've been upgraded.
Get the gift of family when you upgrade to Wii U for $299.99. Game rated E for everyone.
Not only is that a way of saying you shouldn't get a Wii U, but it's also a way of saying you shouldn't trust any commercials. Unless you're a sadist and you want to die on the inside.
Yoshi's Woolly World's brand new Yarn Yoshi. Spring Yoshi, Fling Yoshi, tie the boss in string Yoshi, Zoom Yoshi, Boom Yoshi.
Is the whole commercial just gonna be the narrator?
Finding a secret room Yoshi, down Yoshi, underground Yoshi, jump Yoshi, then pound Yoshi, tapping a Yarn Yoshi amiibo? Whoshi! It's a double Yoshi Exploshi. Yoshi's Woolly World special amiibo bundle available, only on Wii U, rated E for everyone.
As much as I love Yoshi's Woolly World, I must admit, rhyming to just get your point through for 30 seconds isn't the best way to market such a good game.
Here's why we need Wii U.
No, you don't. You really don't.
We're losing family time. Losing isn't fun, is it?
No, not at all.
But upgrading to Wii U is. So check under your seats and check out Wii Sports Club.
Yes, because a child would have it so perfectly planned that they'd actually purchase a Wii U just to get their point through.
With Wii Sports Club, we can train and play and finally compete online against other families.
Whoa, just like the original Wii Sports, with online capabilities for pointless reasons.
So, you want a Wii U this holiday? We'll watch and learn. Here's Mom. We already have a Wii, Sweetiekins.
Are these guys just pinpointing exactly why the Wii U failed?
Here's you. Wii U is a total upgrade, Mother.
Because New Super Mario Bros. U is a massive step up from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. There's so huge of a difference.
And it comes with 2 free games. Hot buttered popcorn, that's a deal.
I hope that kid is glad the Wii U only sold 13.3 million units. Oh, and I'd also like to point out that the Nintendo Switch reveal trailer has more views than units the Wii U sold. Even more amiibos were sold than the Wii U. There were even more virtual boy. Okay, yeah, that one was going a bit too far. Yeah.
All right, guys. Link is in.
Well,
my girl Peach is in.
I'm ready. DK's in, this is gonna be bananas.
That joke made me take physical damage.
This is the one my brother has. They fight with you. I'm getting one of these.
Why is there a giant wall that literally fills up a whole side of a game store filled with copies of Smash Brothers and Amiibo? Oh hey, just like any other game store. Okay, yeah, I see the point now.
Mario and Peach together. Me and Gina together. I'm in.
Is this going to be a whole franchise of commercials?
Mario is in for a huge world of hurt in 3, 2, 1.
Oh man, nice!
Really? All picking on him at once? It's not fair. He hasn't leveled up yet. See, but that's the fun part. You'll train him and then he'll do better. I'll help you.
What's the matter, Mario? It's too much for you?
I'll be back. Come on, Mario. See you, Gina.
Oh no. It's gonna be a cringy training montage. No, 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 no.
He's gonna come down right there. Yes, you got it. Okay, attack. There you go, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
Every Nintendo fan in a nutshell right here. Did I just insult myself? Yep, I just insulted myself. I'm going to begin doing this in real life and see how long it takes until I die.
I wish I had another amiibo. A new challenger approaches. Pikachu.
So, that is how the Wii U was marketed. And yeah, it's pretty obvious why this sold so few units. Well, the console itself isn't that bad. They marketed it in a way that made almost nobody want to buy it, and it felt very cheap and almost useless. So, well, with that out of the way, what about the console itself? Who knows? Maybe it was actually a good console that Nintendo just marketed wrong. Never mind. Now, while there were plenty of fine and even really great Wii U games like Mario 3D World, Super Mario Maker, Super Mario Kart 8, all the other Mario games, Zelda, whatever else there is on the system that everybody forgot about because it's the Wii U, there are plenty of games that are just, how do I describe them? Not good. And the first of those is the 2016 game Star Fox Zero, meant to be this huge, amazing game intended to revitalize the franchise and be the game that Star Fox fans have wanted for years. This game is not good. The game was announced back in 2013 to be a big Star Fox game as a follow-up since there hadn't been one in 10 years with the exception of Star Fox 64 on the 3DS. And a lot of people were really excited because finally, after so long, there was actually going to be a Star Fox game. Star Fox fans were happy because their franchise was finally getting recognized. But then, 2014 happened, and they eventually showed footage from the game, and unfortunately, it wasn't very technically impressive. It was fine. For the Wii U, it was decent, but when compared to other games on the Wii U, it was quite disappointing. But hey, we still had a whole year. They could easily improve everything until then. Right? Right? No, they couldn't. But then, they delayed it another year, so who knows? Maybe they will actually no, they didn't. They didn't change anything. The game stayed the exact same. Yeah, this is pretty disappointing. Now, one of the biggest criticisms I hear is the length, and it's only, 5 hours long, which is reasonable for a game, but when you compare it to something like Zelda, which, yeah, it's a completely different genre, but that takes more than 100 hours to complete. So when you compare that to this, yeah, it's a bit underwhelming. underwhelming, and yeah, you could argue that they are completely different genres. One's a flying shooter, whereas the other is a massive, it's just, I know they're two different genres, but 5 hours for a game, I mean, yeah, that does fit the category of most Star Fox games. None of them are very long. In fact, Star Fox 2, which was recently released on the SNES Classic, was less than an hour long. But I was really hoping for a bit more after waiting 10 years. But regardless, they could make up for that if it had great graphics. Something Star Fox Zero lacks. I mean, the graphics are fine, I suppose, but everything other than the main station and the scientific or technologic stuff like grass or mountains, seem more like they belong in a Wii game or a GameCube remaster rather than a brand new big game like this. And that's really disappointing. It's nothing like polygon shape, which is thankful, but it's very basic, and the level design is also quite simple. In fact, I could have made the design of one of these levels if I had the time. It's very basic, very dull. There's nothing original about anything other than the tech areas. But thankfully, one of the most important aspects of any game, the gameplay, is actually sorta decent. It takes a lot of time to get used to. You have to understand everything, considering you'll be focusing on the gamepad and the TV for a lot of the segments. You have to look back and forth, so that can get a bit confusing, but once you've gotten used to it, it actually is really good and it works quite well. So I mean, that's good. Gameplay is one of, if not the most important aspect of any game, so it's good to see that this actually was pretty good. It just takes a bit of time to get used to, but once you have, it actually is really fun. But it does take a lot of time to get used to, and that's a really big problem. First impressions won't come off very well. If you replay the game, it'll actually be quite fun. Everything will seem pretty good, and it's a fun game, but first impressions will never seem good, and that's a big problem, because first impressions are what so many games depend on, and if this game only works on a second playthrough, you know you've messed up. So all in all, Star Fox Zero gets 5 out of 10 points from me. When did I start doing a rating scale? Now, with one of Nintendo's most beloved IPs out of the way, let's get into another beloved Nintendo IP, and probably the most beloved Nintendo IP, Mario. In his tennis, you already know what this is going to be. Yep, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. And this is about as basic as you can get for a Mario or even Nintendo game, and is probably a step back from the N64 entry. Yes, you know, the one from 20 years prior. This game is so bare bones, so basic, and all in all is just boring. You'll not even find yourself getting an hour out of enjoyment out of it, which is really disappointing because I love Mario Tennis, so to see his big entry on a huge Nintendo console just sort of be treated like this is really disappointing, especially after Mario Tennis Open, which was a great game, and mind you, that was on a handheld. This is on a huge console. One thing that Ultra Smash does have going for it are the colourful colours, which are nice, but yeah, that's all that's going for it. Everything else is boring, blunderish, and the only actual new thing that they added to the game were Mega Mushrooms, which make a character big if you collect it. Which is a pointless idea, but you know, that's just how this works. Anyway, final verdict on Mario Ultra Smash: don't buy this game. Unless you're a sadist who wants to play this, in which case I'm gonna send you to the therapist with the guy who thought Sonic 06 and Superman 64 were masterpieces. I highly suggest you go now. Just right out that door. Now, while there are plenty more terrible games for the Wii U, there is one more that I have saved for last. Often renowned as one of the worst, if not the worst game of all time, is Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric. Now tell me, what's something you adore about Sonic? If you said his speed, too bad, because because that's taken out of this game in favour of pointless gameplay. Have fun! So yeah, gameplay is pretty slow. Never thought I'd say that about the Sonic game, but here we are. And when you get to the rare parts where you actually do go fast, it's held back by the messy camera controls. Every time you try to speed up, the camera will probably hit a rock, causing you to slow down. This isn't a joke. Seriously, I'm not over-exaggerating here. That is an actual experience that occurred to me throughout the game. I was running, and I'm like, oh, finally, it's speedy! And then it just immediately hits like a rock or a boulder or whatever. I'm not even sure what it was. It might have been a tree. And it immediately slows down. This is why Sonic should stick to 2D. And if you do eventually take gameplay out of the question and you get to the plot itself and the script and the dialogue, yeah, you won't get much better. In fact, you'll probably end up getting worse. The script is filled with cheesy jokes that honestly hurt. They belong in the Sonic Boom television series on Netflix. But this is a AAA title. This is not where they belong. And they try to use these epic monologues and sad moments that just mess up because they can't think straight about it and they just mess up this so generic. Everything in this game is generic, and a lot of it is even worse than generic. It's messy, broken, stupid, painful to play, and all in all is not worth a single cent. I paid $10 for this. Now, as I already said, there are plenty worse games on the Wii U, but I just wanted to pull out these three as key reasons as to why the Wii U failed along with the advertisements. And that's really unfortunate because when it comes down to it, the Wii U is an interesting console that just failed because it was marketed wrong and filled with a decent amount of cheap games. But all in all, it was fun going through the Wii U. So, hey, it was a journey. Anyway, I still need a Nintendo Switch, so I'll just maybe order the Smash bundle. I give up looking on Amazon.